I want to break down the Baylor football roster, and I'm not going to mention the numbers right now because they could change. And also, they don't have a Johnny Carter on the roster yet, and I know he just got here like August 11th. So I'm going to just go ahead and include him on the cornerbacks on defense, and I'm going to start with that position first of all. That's one of the, of course, the secondary in general. I'm a little concerned, especially like corners, but the guy Johnny Carter, he's a grad transfer, as we all know, 6 foot, 195 pounds, and I know he just graduated from Utah State, so hopefully he gets to play this year, which I would think so. I would think. But there's another transfer on that list, and that's Isaiah Dunson. He's like 6'1", 184 pounds. He's a sophomore, and he was at Miami, Florida previously. Carl Williams IV. He's 6'1", 179 pounds as a freshman. Cannon Jenkins, 6'1", 166 pounds as a freshman. Chateau Reed, 6'2", 194 pounds as a freshman. Reggie Bush, 6 foot, 189 pounds as a redshirt freshman. LeVar Thornton Jr., 6'3", 174 pounds as a freshman. Tim Williams III, and believe it or not, his dad follows me on Twitter/X. So that's pretty cool. And he's a good guy. He really is. 6 foot, 193 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. MJ Artmore Jr., 6 foot, 192 pounds as a freshman. Though he might be like a walk-on type. I think he is, but I'm not positive. And there's Tayshawn Wilson. He's 5'9", 175 pounds as a freshman. So as you could tell, the majorities of the corners are 6 foot or above. And that's a total of that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 corners. So, and they will play more press coverage this year, remember. And they're going to be more aggressive on defense. Next is the defensive line, and I'm going to go ahead and include Jackie Marshall on this, but he's hurt right now, as we all know. Torn ACL back in the spring, can't play this year. And he's 6'3" and 265 pounds as a redshirt sophomore, which he's going to get another year of eligibility because of the torn ACL. TJ Franklin obviously is one of those guys, 6'5", 268 pounds as a defensive lineman. Trevor Ma'ai, 6'5", 296 pounds as a transfer as a junior from Oregon, believe it or not. Kyle Roberts-Day, 6'3", 270 pounds as a redshirt freshman, but he's still learning that position because he actually was at running back a year ago / tight end. He's just moving positions. Justin Sambu, he's a transfer from Maine, 6'4", 265 pounds as a fifth-year senior. Dan Marshall Jr., 6 foot, 279 pounds as a sophomore. He's a transfer from Navarre Community College. Prince Hugo, 6 foot 1, 230 pounds as a defensive lineman. Devontae Tanzino, 6'5", 289 pounds as a redshirt freshman. Brendan Bett, 6'5", 298 pounds as a freshman. Trey Wilson, 6'3", 266 pounds as a freshman. Trent Thomas, 6'3", 237 pounds as a freshman. DK Kalu, 6'4", 269 pounds as a freshman. Cheo Jen, 6 foot, 271 pounds as a redshirt junior, but he's like one of those walk-on types. I believe that he is. Gabe Hall, 6'6" tall, 287 pounds as a senior. Cooper Lance, 6'3", 278 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. And Jarrell Boykins Jr., 6'4", 317 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. He's a transfer from Hutchinson Community College, but I am not sure about his health status, and the same thing goes for Trey Emery as well, which he is 6'2", inches tall, 303 pounds as a redshirt freshman. Yeah, that's 17 guys on that list. I just listed like 16 of them, and granted, I don't know about the health on the last two, and maybe there's one more other guy that's banged up as well, but I'm just saying that just to say it. In terms of kickers, of course, it's Bryce Bolin, like 5'11", 172 pounds as a redshirt junior. That's listed on the roster right now that he is. Well, I'll just see. Hayden Arnold, 5'8" inches tall, 175 pounds as a freshman. He's like probably one of those walk-on types. I don't know. Isaiah Hankins, he was a walk-on, 6 foot 193 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. Remember, he started his true freshman. He started some as a but then last year he lost his starting job. We'll have to see how he does. But Jack Stone is 5'11" inches tall, 193 pounds as a sophomore. He's a transfer and he's a walk-on type, but he's from Michigan State and he's done good in camp from what I heard. So now in terms of linebackers, there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. But granted, there are walk-on type. Maybe like one walk-on type or two. Yeah, two of them. Matt Jones, 6'3" inches tall, 246 pounds. Carmelo Jones, 6'1", 228 pounds, as a redshirt freshman. And by the way, Matt Jones is a redshirt senior. Tyrone Brown, 5'11" inches tall, 229 pounds, as a redshirt sophomore. Mike Smith Jr., he's been really great and not just in the spring, but in the fall as well, in summer. 6'1" inches tall, 240 pounds. He's a transfer from Liberty. Brooks Miller, 6'1", 234 pounds, as a redshirt junior. Jeremy Evans, 6'1" inches tall, 218 pounds, redshirt freshman. Josh White, 6 foot, 217 pounds, as a redshirt junior from LSU. Trey Lawrence, 6 foot, 210 pounds, as a freshman. Braden Strauss, 5'11" inches tall, 218 pounds, as a redshirt junior. Jaden Marouin, 5'10" inches tall, 226 pounds, as a redshirt sophomore. And yeah, it does include walk-ons on that list. So now I know there's not a lot of long snappers are not a big deal, but they are a big deal when you snap the ball on special teams, not just on field goals, but punts as well. Garrison Grimes, the son of Jeff Grimes, 6'2" inches tall, 215 pounds, as a redshirt sophomore. And Dylan Shaw, 6'5" inches tall, 229 pounds. Now, offensive line there, but that's just regular linebackers, by the way, not like outside linebackers. So yeah, just a FYI on that clarification. So in terms of offensive linemen, there are 18 offensive linemen, I believe. And Connor Heffernan is one of them, 6'3" inches tall, 289 pounds, as a redshirt sophomore, and he might be a walk-on type. Campbell Barrington, of course, he's going to be a starter. 6'6" inches tall, 297 pounds, as a transfer. That's a junior from BYU. Timothy Dawn, 6'2" inches tall, 301 pounds, as a redshirt freshman. Clark Barrington, he's a grad transfer time from BYU, 6'5", 308 pounds. Wes Tucker, 6'5" inches tall, 296 pounds, as a freshman. Gavin Byers, 6'5" inches tall, 312 pounds, as a senior. Caden Tome, 6'4" inches tall, 285 pounds. Ryan Langwell, Lengyele. I mean Lengyel. 6'5", 299 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. He might be like a walk-on type. I don't know. Bryce Simpson, 6'5" tall, 286 pounds as a redshirt freshman. And NJ Roman, 6'4" tall, 288 pounds. Colton Price, 6'2" tall, 207 pounds. George Maye, 6'3" tall, 304 pounds. Kane Siraki, 6'8" tall, 309 pounds. Elijah Ellis, 6'6" tall, 311 pounds. Isaiah Robertson, 6'6" tall, 281 pounds. Tate Williams, 6'4" tall, 305 pounds. Alvin Abaselli, 6'6" tall, 300 pounds. That's all those guys. And now the outside linebackers, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And Brian Vaughn, 6'4" tall, 238 pounds from Utah State as a fifth-year senior. Tony Wongwu, 6'2" tall, 242 pounds as a junior. Kyler Jordan, 6'1" tall, 233 pounds as a freshman. Corey Kelly, 6'3" tall, 212 pounds. Garmin Randolph, 6'7" tall, 251 pounds as a redshirt freshman. And yeah, there is only one punter on the team, but maybe Isaiah Hankins is working on his punting as well, just to give some competition to Palmer Williams. He's a punter and he's a freshman this year, 6'2" tall, 187 pounds. Now, of course, we know the quarterback position is important, but there are other guys on the team, you know. I mean, Blake Shapen, he's presumed to be a starter. He's going to be a starter for at least the beginning of the year. We have to wait and see what he does the rest of the year. 6 foot, 205 pounds as a redshirt junior. Of course, Sawyer Robertson just transferred in from Mississippi State. 6'4" tall, 218 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. RJ Martinez, 5'11" tall, 204 pounds. He's a junior, but he's a transfer from Northern Arizona, and he might get on scholarship. He might. He's not really a bad backup, third string at all. Kate Tessier, 6'3" tall, 216 pounds as a freshman. Bryson McHenry, 5'11" tall, 193 pounds as a redshirt freshman. Now, as we all know, the running back room took a hit a little bit in terms of depth when Quillen Jones is gone. But there are guys there. I mean, first of all, there's Richard Reese, 5'9" tall, 182 pounds as a sophomore. Dominic Richardson, 6'1" tall, 206 pounds. I would say Brent Mason Washington, 6 foot 204 pounds as a freshman. Of course, there's Jordan Jenkins, 6'1" tall, 222 pounds. Dawson Pendergrass, 6'2" tall, 219 pounds as a freshman. And Jacoby Clark, 5'10" tall, 225 pounds. So a total of 6 running backs. And there are, in terms of QBs, 5 QBs right now on the roster. Now I'm going to go over the safeties, and that's one area that Baylor football did not address through the transfer portal. Or they would have by now, and there are 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys, and might include walk-ons possibly, but the first one to mention is Bryson Jackson, 6'2" tall, 209 pounds, a 7th-year guy, by the way. Alfonso Allen, 5'11" tall, 197 pounds as a sophomore. Devin Lemire, 5'11" tall, 186 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. And by the way, Alfonso Allen is a sophomore. Just want to make sure. Corey Gordon Jr. has been impressive according to David Aranda. 6'2" tall, 195 pounds as a redshirt freshman. Devin Bobby, 5'10" tall, 187 pounds as a sophomore. Romario Noel, 6'3" tall and 213 pounds. Michael Allen, 5'7" tall and 297 pounds. As a redshirt freshman, DJ Coleman, 6 foot, 192 pounds as a freshman, and Jacob Redding, 6 foot, 185 pounds as a freshman. Michael Mastro De Casa, 6 foot, 196 pounds as a redshirt sophomore, and Caleb Parker, 5'11" tall, 209 pounds as a redshirt junior. And I'm going to go over the depth chart at a later date. I'm just going to go over the roster first, because according to the depth chart, it's not including any new guys on Baylor at all. On some of those guys, like a Johnny Carter, and actually it included some guys now, and as of like the 14th anyway. That I might just go over that as well, but we'll see. Now tight ends, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 tight ends, and obviously Drake Dabney is one of them. He's a senior, 6'5" tall, 248 pounds. Jake Roberts, 6'5" tall, 250 pounds from North Texas, and he's a junior. Kelsey Johnson, 6'2" tall, 251 pounds, but he's more like he's not only a tight end, but he can actually play fullback as well. He's a sophomore. Matthew Kloffenstein, 6'4" tall, 241 pounds as a freshman. Cody Medenka, 6'4" tall, 246 pounds. Jonathan Steinhauer, 6'6" tall, 242 pounds as a freshman, but he's like a walk-on, I think. Hawkins Polly, 6'3" tall, 249 pounds. Mark as a freshman. Mark Patton, 6'4" tall, 243 pounds as a redshirt junior. And Gavin Yates, 6'3" tall, 232 pounds at junior. Now the rest of the guys on the list are wide receivers, and there are 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wide receivers on the list. First one being from Arkansas, as in like the Arkansas Razorbacks, and that's Keyshawn Jackson, 6'3" tall, 208 pounds as a junior. Ronnie Winfield, 6'2" tall, 205 pounds as a redshirt freshman. I think he has a role for the team this year. He just needed to get used to the system last year. That's what it was. Jerome Burden, 5'10" tall, 195 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. Jordan Neighbors, 5'11" tall, 182 pounds as a sophomore. Javon Gibson, 6'3" tall, 220 pounds. Landry Kinney, 6 foot, 187 pounds as a redshirt junior. Josh Cameron, 6'1" tall, 217 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. And he might carve out for a role for this team. Jonathan Davidson, 6'1" tall, 204 pounds as a redshirt junior. Cameron Bonner, 5'11" tall, 187 pounds as a redshirt sophomore. And Micah Gifford, 6'3" tall, 205 pounds as a freshman. So I would assume if Johnny Carter would start, I would play. I think he'll be in the top 4 corners, but he's got to know the defense a little bit because he came in a little bit late, and it was expected, by the way. I know. It was expected. In terms of like offensive side of the ball, who's going to be like of course, we know Baylor runs a wide zone offense, which is like a multiple, and the defense is going to be multiple as well. So, of course, right now QB1 is Blake Shapen until proven otherwise. So Robertson is the backup, of course, RJ Martinez, but that's just the top 3 guys. Of course, running back, really it's a either or situation at starter because Dominic Richardson and Richard Reese are there, and of course Bryson Washington should be 3rd string now with no Quillen Jones, and Jordan Jenkins might move himself up, and of course there is a possibility that Dawson Pendergrass sneaks up into the 3rd string spot, but he's probably going to get redshirted, probably, just to save his eligibility, because the coaching staff probably wants either redshirt Bryson Washington or Dawson Pendergrass, but we have to wait and see. Of course, tight ends like Jake Roberts is the top guy, but Drake Dabney's right there with them. And like I said, this Kelsey Johnson, of course, there's other guys down the line. Like I said, that's third string. Now, in terms of offensive line, Elijah Ellis, supposedly, according to our lads, but that was like back on July 17th, is going to be the starter, redshirt senior. The backup for the right tackle would be Kane Siraki. That's a redshirt freshman, and Wes Tucker as a freshman. Makes sense. Tate Williams would be the right guard, but it's still not solidified all the way right now. But the wait and see on the offensive line in general. Then George Maye, then MJ Rumman as a third string. But at center, Clark Barrington's going to start there. It seems like it. And Timothy Dawn behind him. Then Colton Price as the other guy. Of course, Gavin Byers is going to be the left guard spot. It seems like. And Ryan Langyel would be the backup for him. And Campbell Barrington's going to start too. And left tackle and Avin Abaselli. But the thing about offensive linemen are there are like some of those guys are playing multiple positions, so it creates versatility, and it's important to know every single spot on the offensive line. Now, wide receiver, like the slot guy, would be like Monterey Baldwin, which he's 5'9" tall, 170 pounds as a junior, by the way. If I didn't go over that already. Then Jordan Neighbors would be behind him. They're very similar. And Jordan Neighbors like 5'11" tall, 182 pounds. So, just to make sure I went over that again. And of course, Jonathan Davidson is like the third string guy. But the wide receivers, like the Z spot, would be Hal Presley or Monty Winfield for that spot. Of course, the wide receiver X, obviously, Keyshawn Jackson. But he's worked himself up, and he told the coaching staff, look, I want to prove myself first instead of you assume I would be a starter. I respect these guys, and I want to just work myself a way up. So, and of course, Josh Cameron's right behind him, and Cameron Bonner at that spot. Now, of course, the defensive end spot is going to be T.J. Franklin. The backup for him is like Cooper Lance and Connor Roberts Day because no Jackie Marshall, as we all know. Nose tackle, Jarrell Boykins and Trey Emery would be in front, but there might have to be like Trey Maai at that spot now. And same thing goes for potentially like Gabe Hall, but you get the point. There might be some other guys, but the thing about Jarrell Boykins is we don't know when he's going to come back and play. That's the thing. Same thing goes for Trey Henry at that spot. And Brendan Bennett would be the other guy on that list. Defensive tackle would be like Gabe Hall. But Trey Maai has been working at the nose tackle position, I believe. So he might be there. And Devontae Tenzino is going to be the backup for Gabe Hall. And then Dave Marshall Jr. Of course, we know that Justin Sandberg is going to be on that list. Probably like a second string somewhere. Somewhere on the defensive line because he's experienced. Of course, at the jack linebacker spot would be Brian Rollins. Then, it's going to be either or Brian Rollins or Garmin Randolph. Then Antonio Onwenu behind him. Of course, I did hear that Mike Smith and Matt Jones are very versatile, and they're going to go back from the Will linebacker spot to the Mike, so they might be flip-flopped on this. But either way, the backups would be at the Mike linebacker spot would be Josh White and Tyrone Brown. I'm going to double check if Tyrone Brown is even on the roster. Yeah, he is. Tyrone Brown is on the roster. Good. Yeah, I just ran through a lot of names and I had to make sure. Yeah, he would be like the third string guy. But at the will spot, it's either going to be Mike or Smith or Matt Jones. And the backup for the will would be like Brooks Miller and Carmelo Jones as well. At the start position, I know that Corey Gordon has worked there before, and Bryson Jackson could be up there for the starter as well as Corey Gordon. And the backup would be like Romeo Noel. Of course, at cornerback, like left corner, it could be Isaiah Dunson. Or it could be even like a Johnny Carter, like I said, assuming he could get to play. I mean, at the strong safety position, it would be like Devin Bobby or Corey Gordon. Potentially, like the free safety spot would be like Devin Lemire or Alfonso Allen. The right corner spot, CB spot, would be like Tim Williams III or Reggie Bush. And I know the secondary is definitely the area that we're most concerned with. And I did include Johnny Carter on all this because I do think he'll be a starter down the line. I'm just not sure he's going to get acclimated to the system quick enough, potentially, to make an impact like week 2 or week 3. Hopefully by conference play, he's ready to go. I mean, in terms of knowing the system and everything. So in terms like place kickers, of course, and a kickoff guy would be like Jack Stone right now, and Isaiah Hankins is the backup. I mean, and like I said, like a long snapper would be Garrison Grimes and then Shaw. The holder would be Palmer Williams, then Bryce Bolin as a backup. Punt returner would be Jordan Neighbors or Monterey Baldwin. Kick returner it's either one of those two guys as well. But once it's official on the depth chart, for sure, like with everybody included, I'm going to say this again, but I'm not going to go over like the heights and weights again. Yeah, and the starting punter would be Palmer Williams or Bryce Bolin or / Isaiah Hankins. So really, that's just an FYI on that. Starting on every position and going over a little bit over the depth chart, but I just want to break this roster down. And this is assuming nobody else gets kicked off the team for whatever reason. For off the field issues, by the way. And I'll go over like the jersey numbers down the line. I mean, next week, probably when it's official on what position, who gets what jersey and everything. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe. I'm going to see you guys later. 5 subscribers, we're on the road to it. Let's go. And if you watch this entire thing, I really do appreciate it because I know it's going to be like 29. It's over 29 minutes right now. I know it is 29 minutes and 15 seconds and counting. And I'll see you guys later.